coward. You are a chicken poop coward.
Let's go.
The only time you edit is when you're trying to scam your
Are you doing
viewers
that thing
with
this
fake
week
ads.
where you insert
are you
ads?
recording? Welcome to Metazoo with you, America's most favorite TCG unedited podcast. I am, of course, joined by Bald Wonder number 2, Josh.
Go. Just keep it going.
I am, of course, joined by the best-looking person on the podcast and my best friend. Nobody say anything bad about him, or you got to go through me. Donald.
Wow.
Unnecessary.
And I am, of course, joined by the man whose internet cannot stand up to a little windstorm, Louis DeGeorge.
What is up, everybody? I will start off by welcoming our robot live from Seattle is George. Walk around the room, George. Show him. Show him the good stuff, George. If you're not watching this podcast,
now it's not doing it. Now it's not going to do it.
Camera.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
What are you, poor or something? Why doesn't your camera follow you around the room?
A minute ago. I don't know what
you were just bragging about how rich you were and how amazing your camera was following you around the room.
What is this picture that was sent in our group chat?
That's George's bougie new monitor. I'm going to share it with everybody. Ready? This is George's new monitor.
This looks like a setup that you built yourself.
Open. How do I do? Open mic.
Do you know why it looks like that?
Because I'm guessing he built it himself.
You're damn right.
That's George's new monitor, everybody. That thing's massive, George.
Yeah.
It's what do you
biggest monitor Samsung makes, basically.
What are you compensating for?
What are you compensating for? Apologies to everybody.
I was at StarCraft. I need more screen size.
Apologies to everybody. Last week the podcast looked and sounded great because we were using my new computer, but now my internet, the fiber optic cable from the main line is in the middle of the road at my house, and there's no internet at my house. So
welcome to West Virginia, baby.
Yeah. And I called them. They said, we'll be there Tuesday. I said, that's not going to work. So they're coming tomorrow morning.
Why didn't you bring your computer over to Donald's house? And then you could have done it there.
Well, I could have done that. It would have been a much longer drive than going to the shop.
How far away does Donald live from you?
Like 20 minutes.
Why don't you just drop your address and Donald's address really quick? We'll compare.
We've already done that.
Between the last couple podcasts, you could triangulate where we all live.
Yeah.
And now George is in Seattle. You can really figure it out.
Yeah.
Seattle's a pretty small place. You can probably pinpoint George.
All right. Today we're talking about Final Fantasy a little bit more.
I hope you guys written down. Never saw that one coming, were you?
We're also going to talk about TCG Player and their new headquarters. We're going to talk about what was the other topics? Anybody remember?
You're doing great, Louie. I'm glad there's no edits this week.
A new Pokemon set, another new Pokemon set coming out.
What's the sorcery topic?
No sorcery.
What?
And then we're talking Lorcana. We're talking new formats for Lorcana.
At the new Metazoo tournament?
Nothing about Metazoo.
Yeah. New Metazoo tournament coming out?
And then I heard through the grapevine that we have a special secret Shosh, which is going to be super good.
It's going to be super good. That part's true.
I would like the comment section to complain about George for a second, though, because how many episodes have we done, George? What do you think? Take a ballpark.
A lot.
It's a lot.
200.
Don't say the number.
Way more than 200.
Don't say the number.
Probably 200-ish.
Probably 200-ish episodes. And 90% of them, you've had your gum statue in the background, your gum painting. And now you just have these terribly white walls.
Well, like the gum is coming with me. I just haven't gotten it yet.
You got to travel with your gum.
That's my carry-on.
Hold on. Are you moving to Seattle?
Partly. Shout out to cardio.
Welcome to May the Zoo Be With You, America's Friends Catch Up on Major Events in Their Life podcast.
It's the most male thing ever.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Also, I want you to know I did this for effect. It doesn't matter where you live because we never see each other anyway.
I have seen you more often than I've seen Louie.
That's
because he's actually probably closer to you in Seattle than he is where.
I don't think you know your geography very well.
Seattle is so much further north than I remembered it being. Dude, it is such a long plane ride.
You gotta get coffee.
Oh my God, y'all. I flew a 737 MAX out here from
You
Charleston.
flew it?
Does that
yourself?
does everyone just have to flap their arms really hard when you're on a plane?
I was too busy praying to flap my arms. I can tell you that much.
Wild.
The fact they let that plane still fly, I'll never get it.
Well, they figure right.
That's a Boeing, isn't it?
Yeah. Where it's made? It's made in Renton.
Is that by you, right?
Yep.
You said Redmond, right?
Yeah.
The home of the Microsoft headquarters.
Not home of the safe airplanes.
Not home of Final Fantasy, which is
it is actually home of Magic, though. So it is complicated.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You've got to go to like every yard sale forever now to try to get good yard sale finds.
Can I just say I thought about that a lot? I think that's actually true.
Yeah, you're gonna find all really cool base set Pokemon stuff.
I don't care about that so much.
Because they had Wizards
I'm not into
of
the pump and
Coast
dump like you are.
and vintage Magic.
That I'd be into.
Like Wizards of the Coast employee stuff. Probably get some good D&D stuff.
D&D stuff has got to be everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean that's really all up there.
Like, I'll say this: like, as much as I am not the biggest TCG person, I think like vintage Magic stuff is really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like it is like the birth of an industry stuff.
Also, welcome to our TCG podcast.
Yeah.
What if you're here because of my TCG takes, you need to find.
Let's switch up the first topic and let's do what would George want from a vintage Magic, collecting. What's something that you would really like?
I know, so this will be fun. What do you guys think?
Oh, okay. I don't think you would. I mean, obviously the Power 9 and stuff like that, but I think there'd be weird.
I'm going to say he doesn't know what Power 9 is.
Incorrect. Black Lotus.
Name
the others.
Power 9. Yeah.
He just did.
Mox Opal, Mox Emerald, Mox other things. Where you at, Donald? Where you at, Donald? No,
Donald, he really got you with Mox other things. You better watch out.
Mox other things.
Other things, bud.
I'm surprised that's not a real card in an unset at this point.
George, did you just do free R&D for Wizards?
So what I like to collect.
Wait, you're not gonna let anybody else guess? Just Josh saying the Power 9?
No. I said outside of that, and then he jumped in.
All right, what's your outside of it?
I think he would want there's probably weird commons that he used to play as a kid that he would seek out. Prodigal Sorcerer seems to me. I like a Prodigal Sorcerer. I think George would like a Prodigal Sorcerer.
George isn't sentimental. He's not like that. Donald, do you have any guesses?
I mean, I don't know. I guess everybody's typical guess is a Black Lotus, but I don't think that's. If George wanted a Black Lotus, he'd just buy it. So,
my guess would be the test cards, George.
Those are good.
Test cards would be cool.
I'm a big fan of things that were owned by founders. So, one of my very favorite possessions in the world was a gift. It was Walt Disney's original hat given to one of the 9 old men who were one of his original illustrators that the person's widow gave to me.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So I would like something either at the founding of Magic or Garfield, not the cat, the founder of Metazoo, the guy who's designing Metazoo, that guy. I would like something of his back in the olden days when he designed his first card game. Now he's designing his next card game. I would like something of his at the founding.
Okay, so in that theme, in that topic,
yeah,
if you found out Mark Rosewater's aunt was single and available,
yeah,
would that be something you tried to collect?
Absolutely.
The aunt.
Yeah, specifically.
That's.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if you can legally claim that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mark Rosewater's aunt's hat would go great next to Walt Disney's hat.
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
You could get stuff like that, I'm sure. I mean, the coat.
I will say original Magic stuff goes for way less than I would think it would.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder I wonder how many copies out there exist of the you know how like the very first set came into existence, right? Like
Alpha.
No. Like he would go to conventions and like people sitting outside the convention hall, and he had like the cards. They were on the back. He put them on poker cards, and like they would play with them on that. I wonder if those like exist, if people have those.
Yeah, they do. And CGC grades them. I don't think anybody else grades them, but anytime you go to like a MagicCon, you always see them floating around. Yeah. They're expensive. I mean, they're really.
I'm sure.
Also, I don't know. CGC has such a bad history of like misidentifying real things. That what do you mean incorrect?
I mean incorrect.
Stop it. I don't know that I would want that. I don't know. Those things seem so easy to replicate to me. I'm sure I'll piss off the one guy in the comment section that owns one by saying that. But
I mean, I think like even like owning something like some like original legal documents of Wizards would be cool. Like owning something like of like the original company for.
I've got it. I've got it right here. I've got exactly what you need. I'm gonna put it in the.
I just got what I need.
And it's for sale right now.
Yes.
No way. No way. Where are you putting this? Magic?
It is a Beckett 9 graded Wizards of the Coast pink slip employee termination.
Oh, I saw this week.
That's wild.
And reason for termination of employment: theft of company property, trespassing, and conspiracy. If that doesn't,
let me tell you, that's a good reason to get fired.
That's a good pink slip. If you're going to collect a pink slip,
it's 2025 though.
Yeah, it's not vintage, but still, like it's something that George should collect. He wants.
Wait, hold on. Are pink slips still like a thing? Like in 2025, this person got.
You keep saying 2025 like it's a bad thing. Imagine if this game's around in 10 years, dude.
That's true.
It's going to go crazy.
The question is, what do you need to do to get a 10?
Oh, I like that.
You only get one shot. you only get one shot at creating a card.
And is this is a 1 of 1? So like,
there's no way this is a 1 of 1.
I mean, for that person, I'm assuming it's a 1 of 1, unless he's been fired multiple times.
Oh, interesting. Well, I imagine he was, to be honest with you.
When you get fired, do you just get one of these pink slips? I don't understand.
When you got fired from your last job, what happened, Louis?
I haven't worked a real job in a very long time.
Accurate.
Is this a thing that's just like common?
I don't. Knock on wood. I've never been terminated.
I mean, I haven't either, but I'm assuming you get like a termination letter of some sort.
I thought you just got like invited into a meeting with HR, and
they definitely do that these days. They definitely just put you on a Teams call and mute you and say, "Sorry, you're gone."
So why is Beckett grading these things?
Wait, why? What do you mean? That's the worst question so far. Why wouldn't you?
Okay, let's move on and talk about Final Fantasy.
Let's never do that because I want to talk about grading pink slips from other companies.
What's the most valuable pink slip you can grade?
It says it went straight from my manager's hand to a top loader.
You have to know you're getting fired. You're just prepped. You're ready.
Did you see the John Ivy guy, the guy who did all the Apple products, now works for OpenAI?
Yeah, his company got bought by OpenAI.
For an all-stock purchase.
Hold on, let's go back to the termination letter. That guy's rating on eBay is 9.7%.
Well, I mean, he was a thief at work. Like, you're buying from a thief. Like,
so allegedly, he got fired for trying to walk out with the box of Mirrodin Pure, the only one ever printed of a set that never existed.
Gosh,
that's what George wants.
What's in the open market if he got it out? Do you think?
Who do you sell it to? It's like the guy who stole all the Fusion Strike hits.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that's a little more
Rudy.
desirable.
You could private sell that to Rudy.
No, Rudy's not buying a fake. Rudy's not buying a stolen Wizards of the Coast property. You think Rudy's buying? I think the guy is George. George is like,
I'd buy that. I'd absolutely buy that. If I didn't know it was stolen, obviously, police officers.
To all of our
catching me this
FBI
easy, Louie.
who are definitely listening.
You live in
So
it's probably legal up there to steal
Probably
stuff.
legal in Seattle.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like it's a
It's a what?
I feel like it's important to note that this whole thing is satire. It's not real.
Oh
Yeah.
Before,
Did Louie think it was real?
Was there discussion over this?
well, at least one person here thought it was real. So
It was real.
I mean, you sent me a thing. I trust my friends. What do you want?
I got a lot of stuff to start sending you.
I would never
A lot of-
assume my friend would lie to me on the podcast. That would be ridiculous.
Oh.
Well,
That
Think
explains why they're still using pink slips and why BGS is creating them.
you asked all the right questions. I thought you'd get to the right answer.
Okay, can we move on to Final Fantasy before I embarrass myself or something?
We can do whatever you want, baby. I'm ready. I was born ready.
So sales were absolutely crazy this week.
Yeah.
Like insane crazy.
Yeah.
We had the TCG player sales last Friday, right? We didn't talk about any of that.
Well, we talked that it was going to happen.
Right.
We didn't talk about the results. Whew.
Collector boxes selling at an average of 30 a day right now.
Yeah. It's as we get closer to the release, the number of boxes selling per day is getting more and more insane.
I bet you can't guess what the number one seller is.
Collector box.
Is it MVP Sports and Games?
It's MVP Sports and Games.
Well, what do I win?
You win being right on the podcast for once.
I just
I
called
sent
that Thursday, buddy.
I sent you a picture of the results of the TCG players. So
Oh yeah, this is
that was my car on Saturday morning at the post office.
That's awesome.
I'm putting it on the podcast tunnel.
I don't care.
That's
There's no
someone's car
license plate,
with
right?
with our boxes. No, I checked that there's a license plate with our boxes from the post office. Thanks for dropping those off, Donald.
The post office definitely hated me.
The post office
But
always
Donald,
hates
we
us.
love you. They might hate you, but on this podcast, we all love you.
So average of 30 selling a day at a 700 plus box price. What's the play box doing?
It's the most sold box for Final Fantasy on TCG Player, and I think the price is constantly going up.
That's
Which is-
crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
That
Last I
never
looked,
happens.
you were at what, 180s? Is that still?
Yeah,
That is-
179, but that graph is insane.
Like this box better be readily
160 selling a day.
This
160 a day.
this box better be readily available. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, it won't be on release.
Better be. You heard me.
So is this box still available 6 months from now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. This and the Commander decks, which I'm sure are also selling like crazy, will be reprinted time and time again for the next 2 years at least. I think Commander decks are selling at 30 a day too, if I remember. I was looking at it earlier.
The Commander deck set being the second most popular product for the set so far is very telling. You know, the fact that
What is it,
people do
Tom?
want to sit down and play with these cards, it's not all scalpers and Final Fantasy collectors. Like, no, people want to sit down and play some Commander, man.
Yeah, listen, if you're scalping Final Fantasy collector boxes off of TCG Player at $702 a box,
You're probably not making much money.
I gotta say, I think there's better things to do with your time.
And money.
I don't buy into the like.
I mean, are they hoarding them to hope that they'll go up, or
There's definitely some of that, and I mean, a lot of people and people I've been talking to seem to be connecting this to the Lord of the Rings special edition. There's like a crazy.
I think I'll have my hot take here. Lord of the Rings Special Edition is worth so much now because nobody wanted it at release. This box, I think, will not have the same trajectory, even though it is the better set, the best-selling set, and I was right about that. All three are important.
I think I'm sorry, go ahead. I thought you were done.
Killing me, Donald. We're best friends. But people are going to hoard it and hold it because they think the price is going to go to the moon, which will make it not go to the moon.
Yeah.
Donald, what were you going to say?
I think the special edition Lord of the Rings thing got just overshadowed by people hunting the One Ring. Like I think all other products paled in comparison to that, and so they just. I think that plays into that.
I thought the one, yeah,
the One Ring
was the One Ring, not the one of one Ring.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. The one of one was what everybody was worried about.
No, that's not in the special collection.
That's exactly what I just said. Was that people weren't hyped about the special edition collector box because they were buying all the other boxes to get the one of one ring, and by that point, people had come in and hoarded them all. Then they went up.
Oh, that box also came out at Christmas time when people have, I don't know, they're typically spending more money but on different things, but also in a very down market in the TCG world. Like there was a lot of things that Pokemon was way down. Everything was way down when those boxes came out. Right now we're in the biggest hype of all time. We also just had Commander Masters, I think, had just come out right before that. Right now we're in the biggest hype of all time TCG world. So I tend to agree with George that the hype is at the all-time highs right now. I also think with Lord of the Rings special collectors, the supply wasn't anything like this is. Those popped out pretty quick in terms of overall supply, I think. But it's an interesting comparison. It'll be super interesting if we see a holiday edition of this set.
Do you think we do it?
I don't want to be the guy that says I think we do it, but I think we do it.
I think it's Marvel. I think we see holiday Marvel instead of.
I think we see a special edition Lord of the Rings, or not Lord of the Rings, Final Fantasy. I think there was verbiage in one of the announcements saying this is the only Final Fantasy set until a special edition set, and I think that's been said. So I'm taking special edition Lord of the Rings here.
Yeah, which if you do the math, they said this is the number.
But go ahead.
They're saying this is the number one selling set of all time. They basically said the same thing with Lord of the Rings. It makes sense for them.
Basically said it. They said it.
Right. It makes sense for them to just do it again and capitalize on that. And it's the only way they can reprint the collector boxes. So then you have the question, is this the box that reaches special collector edition pricing, or is that the one that reaches special collector edition pricing?
Well, you got to bank on the fact that it's coming. I don't know for sure.
I don't think they'll ever have that kind of craziness with a special edition again because now everybody knows.
That's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. It'll get distributed wider too. Yeah. People who went in on special collector edition, they bought all of it, right? There's a much smaller number of people who hoard those products. It's interesting. This set's, I don't know. This set is absolutely bonkers in terms of.
Yeah, of course. It's the second best game ever made.
Behind StarCraft.
Yeah.
Josh.
Oh.
Yeah. God, I should replay Final Fantasy VII. I got so angry because Final Fantasy VII Remake was not as good. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII since then.
Why hasn't there been a good Final Fantasy online MMORPG?
There is.
That's a hold on. It's maybe the most popular MMORPG right now.
Whoa! I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. That never came up when I was playing RuneScape. Nobody ever told me to play it. My bad.
Nobody talked about this in the 1970s when RuneScape was popular. That's shocking, Louis.
That was a wild thing to say into a microphone. You know, why doesn't Magic consider making a popular card game?
Why don't any of my friends play Final Fantasy Online then? If it's such a big deal, why don't people play it?
I'm like 10 years too old for an MMORPG.
Donald, why don't you play Final Fantasy Online?
But because I play WoW and you don't have room for both.
I tried to get back into WoW. I couldn't do it.
I've never heard of this thing. It's like a big game. People play it.
Yeah.
Lord help us. Lord help us all.
Let me see.
When did it come out? What's its player base?
Lord be with us. Lord give us
Final Fantasy 14 versus WoW. Let's see.
Wait, it's called Final Fantasy 14? Oh, and that's just like online?
You learning about this on the podcast right now is pretty awesome.
In August 20th, 2024, it says WoW had more total players, but Final Fantasy 14 has more daily players.
Interesting.
That's because of all of us that forgot about our WoW subscriptions.
There's currently 18,000 people playing Final Fantasy 7 online. Does that seem...
7. We're not talking about 7.
Sorry. It's X4. It's 14. Sorry.
Yeah. Roman numerals. Sorry. Yeah.
And that's
14.
18,000 playing online.
And that's on... Are you getting that from Steam?
Steamcharts.com.
Yeah, that's
so
only
Final
the people
Fantasy,
playing the
so
client
according
through
to
Steam.
Reddit, so you know it's true. Final Fantasy is when I googled it. Final Fantasy 14 player count falls under 1 million for the first time 2 months ago.
Old School RuneScape has a player count of 600,000 actively right now, with a player base of 64 million.
Nobody in the universe believes 64 million people are playing RuneScape. Zero. Zero people could conceivably believe that.
MMO-population.com believes that. We estimate the daily player count on Old School RuneScape to be 598,156, with a total player base of 64,911,144. That's a pretty spot-on estimate, if you ask me.
I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy 14 is definitely in the top 5. I'll say 5. I was gonna say 3, but I'll say 5 MMOs of all time.
The same website. Hold on. The same website estimates the daily play count of Final Fantasy 14 to be 399,700, with a total player base of 70,122,933. They give the MMO health bad to Final Fantasy 14, whereas Old School RuneScape is good.
That was really cool reading, Louis. Thanks for that.
Wait, so you have 70 million people have Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah, 70 versus 65 million. So 5 million more players.
That has more players.
Well, you told me that nobody plays Old School RuneScape. That's what you told me.
I did not say that. I said nobody believes 64 million people.
I think you said
nobody
maybe we should.
That.
They do.
1 out of every 5 people on the land of freedom play that game.
I don't have any way of verifying their stats.
I don't think you've played that game in some time.
But you guys still have Old School RuneScape downloaded on my phone, to be honest.
Wait, you play on your phone?
Hold on. This is a mobile game?
It's everything. It's Old School RuneScape. You can play it on a calculator.
Okay. So it's okay. This explains a lot. It's not a real game.
Dude,
you just gotta chop down trees.
Doom on a calculator, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the universe.
Doom is the best.
Doom is the best.
Doom is the literal best. I saw someone had ASCII Doom running on something, which is just ASCII art Doom. That was pretty cool.
There's a new Doom coming up.
Dude, I love Doom. It'll never be as good, though.
You know what was even better, or at least more iconic for me, is Duke Nukem 3D.
Yes, Duke Nukem so good.
We should just be a video game podcast. I mean,
Earthworm Jim was so good.
Magic does. This is what Magic Final Fantasy is inviting. They're inviting conversations about our favorite video games.
Should
and why
we
it's
just
never Final Fantasy.
hop on to Final Fantasy 14 and start playing, and that should be the podcast now?
God, I would destroy all of you.
I have pretty extensive MMO experience in WoW. You'd beat me. I don't think
Extensive MMO experience in RuneScape.
That doesn't count.
I have no
on your phone.
MMO experience, but I have a ton of Final Fantasy experience.
How many 99s do you guys have?
In RuneScape? None. I have a wife.
I don't have either of those things.
Well, that means
Donald,
you
yes, we
potentially
get
could have a wife because you don't.
Amazing looks and a great personality. Continue.
Okay. I think that's enough of the Magic topic for the week. Let's talk about this TCG.
I just want to say, I think that I'm surprised / impressed that they put the work into this set to, as far as flavor goes. Like it's not just Magic cards that are skinned with Final Fantasy.
No.
Like there's actual story stuff going on, which I think is cool. So like, George, do you know who Zach Fair is?
No.
So like in Final Fantasy VII, he's like, he dies and gives Cloud the sword.
Oh, yeah.
So his card actually says like you sacrifice him and then target creature you control gains indestructible to end the turn. That creature gets all of Zach Fair's counters, and you attach all equipment that was attached to Zach to that creature. So it's like, it's such a flavor. Like I saw that card and I was like, the flavor of that card is incredible. Like it tells a story without there actually being story on there. There's no flavor text, but like it just tells a story if you know. But
good flavor text, wildly underrated.
100%.
I agree. I mean, I think the set has incredible art too. Like I think that all the ways that they've tied in the Final Fantasy artists is really cool. And one of the things I always look at is like, are the Universes Beyond fan base excited for it? And I keep seeing people sharing Final Fantasy content creators talking about the Magic the Gathering set. And I think if they are happy, typically that means they've done things right. And that happened with Lord of the Rings too. And I think that's really cool and really good. And I'm not surprised by that though, because they did that with Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
They've done that with Warhammer. They did that even with Fallout. They did that. They've done a really, really good job. They're not half-assing the Universes Beyond thing. They are all in on Universes Beyond. They're half-assing the rest of Magic.
Right.
Like,
they're killing it.
This is twice now. You said Lord of the Rings Special Edition was in between all bad sets. You know, like Wilds of Eldraine.
I did not say that. I said it was in a downturn in the TCG market. It's word for word what I said.
Which that downturn included Wilds of Eldraine and Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
Sure.
Okay.
2 great sets. Yep. But nothing was pumping at that time. Wilds of Eldraine was readily available. Collector boxes weren't crazy. Lost
Collector
Caverns
boxes were selling over $200, which was insane.
I wouldn't say that that's insane. That's, I think, a healthy sales, but things weren't going crazy.
And what were Lost Caverns of Ixalan?
They restocked at regular distro cost Wild of Eldraine collector boxes.
And what were Lost Caverns of Ixalan collector boxes going off at?
Same. I got cases of restock of Lost Caverns of Ixalan collector boxes.
They were selling at $300 a box, probably a month after release.
I don't know if that's accurate or not. But my point was that we weren't in this completely crazy TCG market.
I think just Pokemon was doing poorly at the time.
Louis cares about 2 games: Pokemon, whatever his new fad of the month is.
Might have been the game doing poorly at the time.
Okay.
This month it was sorcery. Find out what it is next month.
All right. What's next? Let's talk about TCG Player. So TCG Direct, which is basically what happens with TCG Player Direct, is when the orders come in, you end up shipping once a week to the warehouse in New York, and then
New York.
TCG Player ships out all the cards.
I've been waiting for you.
And you are replacing.
Welcome to New York.
Great. Now we're demonetized, and I have to do ads.
Wouldn't it mean you don't do ads if you're demonetized?
No, I have to do my own ads.
But you can't do that because you got to edit that.
I'm not going to be able to. Anyway, so they then ship the cards out. So they are moving all their stuff to Kentucky, to where the eBay headquarters is. Why are we? Oh, we're advertising for MinMax.
I thought we were doing ads. Last time I made a legitimate ad and I spent time on it, you didn't post it. So
accurate. Me too, Josh.
That's fair. So they are moving all their stuff to Kentucky. And in doing so, there's a bunch of people in New York that are pretty upset, mainly the employees. But a lot of the reasons they're saying are doing it are for logistics purposes, like the USPS headquarters is in Kentucky, or the UPS headquarters or whatever is in Kentucky. And
it's gotta be cheaper.
It's also where eBay is.
Oh, interesting.
So do you guys think? Do you think this is eBay bringing everything home? You think we see more connection between TCG Player and eBay as a result of this?
I mean, it makes sense for them to house everything under one umbrella. They own it, so
not externally, internally, yeah. I bet they consolidate some of the shipping and logistics, but externally, I don't see any reason not to leave the two platforms standalone.
Yeah.
Something that has caught me off guard in my life.
Donald's dashing good looks.
Accurate. Is also that the amount of money you save by like going to these different areas.
Hold on, your camera's moving. Yeah.
Now it's good.
You gotta walk around the room. You gotta show them. Show them the real thing. Walk all. Wow.
Wow.
Oh, that's so good.
You can do the wave.
Follow my hands? A little bit.
No, it follows, tracks your eyes. Ready? Do it with your eyes shut.
Oh God, that's terrifying.
It's got to track your eyes.
No, that's not nice.
Wait, do it with your eyes shut and see if it moves.
It does.
Oh, it must just like track the.
It's his blood. Like he had to like put a blood into the camera, and it tracks his blood.
He does look a little flush.
Yeah.
Okay, you were saying something.
Is that how much money you can save by just like small changes in your location?
I don't know if I would say axing 200 plus employees is a small change, though.
No. I'm saying like, so I'm part of a company that's headquartered in Austin, and we looked at moving our shipping to Dallas. We're a small company, little small mom and pop shop, if you will. And like, we would save over $1 million a year in shipping if we did that.
Why?
Because Dallas is closer to receiving and shipping USPS stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Like, these little changes in geography matter far more than I think most people realize. Certainly far more than I realized.
Mm-hmm.
It's also more central than New York is.
It's way cheaper too. I mean, I'm sure warehousing and all that stuff is way cheaper.
And your employees are going to be cheaper too than they are in somewhere like Austin.
Yeah, or New York too.
Yeah.
Welcome to New York.
Shipping to we deal with shipping to freaking California. It is so expensive. USPS just had a 7% increase in Ground Advantage approved. Things are
I just bought my first set of like toys for my arcade since the tariffs. F that. That is bananas.
What percentage more are you paying?
Some of my ducks were 34% more.
That's crazy.
Keep in mind, I go through tens of thousands of ducks a year.
Right.
I was stunned.
Duck that, dude. Get out of there.
Like literally my bill went up by I think more than 20%.
That's crazy.
It was brutal.
The number of industries that are just going to be axed over something like this.
I mean, every game I have just went up in price.
Yeah.
Every single game.
Do you guys, I thought we could use this as an opportunity to talk about a competitor to TCG player. Do you guys think we ever see a real, true competitor to TCG player?
Yeah,
Yes, and it already exists. It's headquartered right now in Austin, Texas.
Oh, you're doing it too?
Am I doing it too? I am it.
Oh, okay. Then
What-
we're okay.
What are you guys doing to compete with TCG player?
Nothing.
Can't disclose that information.
What does it take to make something that competes with TCG player?
So
A lot.
I've actually put a lot of thought in this because it's something that that I've actually considered, like, is it worth it or not? Here's the problem: is I think it's a legitimate winner take all market. Like, in a very weird way, I think this is what the Channel Fireball experiment showed us.
Yeah.
Like, it never really worked. Like, it worked well enough to get bought. It worked well enough to scare eBay TCG player, but it didn't really work.
But didn't they also buy like Binder POS and all the other stuff that that Channel Fireball owned? Because remember that it was crazy. Like, Channel Fireball bought Binder POS, and then like 2 months later, TCG player got bought by eBay, and then like a week later, TCG player eBay bought Channel Fireball. So
Yeah, I mean, so I think that's way more common than people think it is. Like, they were clearly buying to grow to sell, which I think is like a totally reasonable strategy. But I mean, like, I think that the TCG player market, just like eBay, is a winner take all market. What would it take to make a new eBay? Like, this is always Warren Buffett's thing with Coca-Cola. If you gave him $2 billion, he doesn't think he could compete with Coca-Cola, and he's probably right. Like, you can make the same product, right? I can go to Walmart and get Sam's Choice Cola. It'll taste roughly the same. But Coca-Cola is like a winner. People know the name. They know the brand.
You're working against years of brand awareness.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I really think that. I mean, I think TCG players are winner take all market. I don't think there's a lot of room there.
well,
the thing is, there's room there though for someone, if you could do the infrastructure and do all that stuff, there's room there to undercut those TCG player fees and still make a good profit. Like, to cut, there is room to come in there, but like, I just don't think it's possible.
As a retailer, the undercutting in fees doesn't do it for me, because you can charge me.
Buyers.
You can charge me 4% fees all you want, but if there's nobody on the platform to buy, and then
that's what I'm saying, you've got to build that infrastructure and everything first. Like, you can't just come in with the cheaper fees, and like, you've almost got to take a brand that people already know and rework it to be that. Like,
that's what Channel Fireball tried to do.
So
yeah.
As someone who hasn't paid people to think about this, but actually thought about it, I will say that taking shots.
Our opinions don't matter.
No. Well, I was just lump yourself
in.
in. You haven't put any thought in anything. I was just taking shots at George for fun, but sure, play the victim. That's fine. I really think that you're going to need a couple things. You guys mentioned the community. That's the biggest aspect. You have to have some way to drive community there, and not just community from the buyer side. You have to drive community from the seller side, and those things have to happen relatively simultaneously. If a buyer goes to your site for the first time, can't find the things that they need, they probably won't come back. If the seller goes to your site, can't sell anything, they likely won't come back. So you have a bad situation there. There's a lot of improvements to be made on fees and the payment infrastructure for TCG player. TCG player is backed by a lot of popular payment providers, and they're paying a lot of fees there. I think there's a lot of new players in those games where you can cut down some of those fees if you're building off the ground. But realistically, it takes a team that actually cares about this mission. Because all that's going to happen is you're going to get big enough, and eBay and TCG player are going to make you an offer that you can't refuse. If you succeed in all of those goals, they will just make you an offer and purchase you.
I think the only company that would have a shot would be like a Card Kingdom, for instance, if they wanted to move into.
I think if they got big enough and they were a competitor, and TCG in the States, we're talking specifically in the States, and TCG players saw them as a true competitor, they would just offer to buy them.
Is what's the one in Europe that everybody uses? Card Market.
Kingdom?
Is that
Card
owned?
Market?
Is that owned by TCG Player, or
No.
is that no?
I thought it's its own thing. They're
Yeah.
trying to do Card Trader over here, but that's buggy.
Yeah.
I think like I don't think it can be a fractured market. Like I have a tough time seeing half the people use site A and the other half use TCG Player. There has to be
Even eBay, like I don't feel like eBay takes away from TCG sales that much. Like nobody,
not at all. Like what I think it could convince me is that there could be these niche ones, like you see like Cards and Bids now, and Bring a Trailer, are like doing really good with the card mark for auctions that used to be on eBay.
Okay,
but eBay never did good at them. They weren't they weren't a thing.
But they kind of are to eBay what eBay is to TCG Player. Your Bring a Trailer and your Cards and Bids are generally not your, your standard everyday driver cars. They're specialty cars. They're vintage cars and things like that. They're cars in certain specialty conditions. That's kind of how eBay is with trading cards, right? You get every trading card.
I think that there's that room there where I think you could convince me like you could have like a competitor on like very high end or very niche, right? I think that would be the way I would approach it. It would be like TCG Player probably doesn't do that great with sorcery.
Yeah, probably.
Can you have a sorcery subsection on this new one? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because but it's also way easier to get the 200 sorcery buyers onto a market than it is to get the 20,
I think
20,
if I were to actually try to make a competitor to TCG Player, I would start with games that people that aren't as popular.
What about something like Whatnot? They've got an audience.
Whatnot is going to eat everybody. Whatnot is here for everybody. Whatnot's going to take over the world.
They've got an audience. They've got the eyeballs. They've got people on their app already. If they put in some form of infrastructure to list single cards easily like TCG Player does. Like I know a lot of Pokemon people who sell singles on Whatnot because people want, it's like eBay. Like people want to see the condition of the cards. People like TCG Player doesn't work super well for stuff like that. But Whatnot, they have the listings in their store and you can go and buy the card, but it's not built in a way that's easy for the consumer. You have to kind of already know the buyer and that kind of thing. I could see them entering into that market somehow.
I mean, like the problem is like I think they have. I want to be clear. I think like the live auction business is going to dominate everything.
Yeah, but on Whatnot, you can add non-live purchases. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people do.
Struggle because I think it will hurt their live auctions, and that's where their focus is.
Yeah. Well, eBay's starting their eBay Live thing too, which I think will be.
We've heard this now for how many years?
That's fair.
When was Tanner on our podcast talking about eBay Live?
That's fair.
When you said they're here to eat, oh my God, why would you bring that up? I totally forgot about that. How you were like, that's going to be the difference maker is that Tanner's going to come in and dominate eBay Live on Cryptic.
I may have said that.
You absolutely said that.
He did. He had he went to the eBay Live. He was like on the premiere of eBay Live.
Remember the eBay Live was launching with a Metazoo release, wasn't it?
No, it was launching with the Cryptic release.
I thought it was with a Metazoo release.
How did that game
into Louis fiascos?
How did that game die? They had literally everything set up. Oh, I remember. They destroyed set 2. They printed the boxes.
They sold them on eBay and cut the game stores out. You could only get the legal cards on eBay.
I think there was also other things.
Yeah, there were way other things, but that was the nail in the coffin when they sent all the cards that were this thick to the game stores and then said, but if you want the ones that are sleeve playable, you got to buy it on eBay instead.
I had a conversation with a certain game store owner about a certain meeting with a certain card company owner, and that kind of made me realize we're not going places.
Yeah, if only you could have saved that guy from buying in super heavy.
If only I would recite that conversation word for word if you'd like.
Hey
man,
I probably have text messages saying
red flags in dating.
No, there's no. You couldn't cover my house in red flags and have more red flags in that conversation.
Yeah, that whole event, that whole weekend, was a red flag.
All right, let's move on. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Sorry. I tried so hard.
I get sad whenever we talk about Cryptic. Pokemon. Pokemon has another.
Be said.
Speaking of red flags, let's talk about Pokemon having another new set announced.
It's been a week. I don't know what. It's about time.
Do you think the rapid release cycle is going to tire out players and create wallet fatigue?
I think they're just trying to keep up with Magic at this point.
Well, why would they do that? They're already ahead of Magic, Donald.
No.
Inferno X going to feature Mega Charizard. So this is another set after. So August. Let's see. Hold on. June 6th is Black Bolt and White Flare, and then August is the Mega set, and this is Japanese. So we'll see this in September.
Bro, when in doubt, slap a Charizard in there. Good to go.
Yeah.
I think that this set will be the beginning of the downturn for Pokemon.
No.
Are we not already there?
No, we're not there.
When does the 30th come out, Louis?
This is before the 30th set.
I think we'll only see it go up until the 30th, and then only go up after the 30th.
I know. I think this set does it.
No, this is the beginning of the beginning.
Let me make one thing very clear. I will still be trying to buy as much of the 30th anniversary edition as humanly possible, regardless of the state Pokemon's in, provided it's not $1,000 proxies.
If they do the $1,000 proxy thing like Magic did for their 30th.
The good thing is that you don't play Pokemon, it would be fine.
Yeah, it would be. No one cares.
It would just be their first collector pack.
Oh, George defending that would be wild.
Yes. When they do the $1,000 proxies and George is like, I think this is great. I think the Pokemon company nailed this.
Who's walking behind you, Louis?
My store is open. What do you want from me? My employees have to go places.
Who is that?
That was Cole.
Tell Cole to come on the podcast.
No, he's got things to take.
You want to help the customer? Have Cole take your spot for a little bit.
I got to do the podcast. I can't go.
People would much rather hear from Cole than you. I promise you.
That's probably.
Put in the comment section if you'd rather have Cole or Louis for this next segment. Does he know anything about sorcery? Maybe he has a sorcery topic.
Does he
know anything about Pokemon?
He does not play sorcery. Do not lie to me.
He has a sorcery deck.
Bring him over here and tell him to show us his sorcery deck. Show your deck. Show your deck.
Hey, Donald, does Cole play sorcery?
He doesn't.
Cole, have you played sorcery?
No.
Cole, come tell them about sorcery.
Cole,
where's the camera?
The camera's right there.
Put the headphones on
Sorcery's an amazing game.
Put the
it's
headphones
like
on his
old
head.
Magic the Gathering meets chess, and the artwork is phenomenal.
We didn't ask you to.
Put the headphones on his head.
Such a good employee. Such a good employee. Did you hear him sell that thing? It's so good.
I love Donald's face. Donald was just like watching this man lie to us and stunned.
Cole has a sorcery deck. I played it with him.
Yeah, I love how that went. Cole plays sorcery to have you ever played sorcery?
Cole has a deck.
Very quickly.
I also have a sorcery deck, Louis.
Yeah, you play sorcery. You said it was your favorite TCG. You play way more. You played sorcery way more recently than you played Magic or Pokemon or Metazoo.
No, he went to his buddy's house and played Magic.
He drafted.
Right. No, I played Magic more recent.
Yeah.
Oh dang. That
That's a bad take, buddy.
Anyway, too many sets.
Colin.
So many sets for Pokemon.
Nobody cares.
The Destined Rivals isn't even out yet, and we are talking about 2 sets from now. It's like Magic. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that literally is the same thing. It's
how evil like, this is.
Just spoil every set that's coming out this year, and then.
Louis, talk about how evil this is and how their executives are so greedy. It's just not for the fans.
George being a 3-year-old with the camera is too good. It's too good. I can't stop watching. He's so happy.
It's amazing.
Is it on a swivel?
This is what AI was supposed to be used for.
Is it on a swivel or it's just...
Yeah.
How do you think it's moving?
Well, it could be digitally moving. It could be a wide camera that's digitally following.
No, my monitor is wide, not my camera.
Face. Yeah, you can do that digitally with a 4K camera.
It's 4K.
Yeah.
Is
you
it
see my
crazy.
bald head very clearly.
Anyway, I
Mine's
think it's
1080p.
too many sets and I don't like these like spoilers while things haven't come out yet. Everyone's like, when can I pre-order Black Bolt and White whatever? I'm like, I already have your money for Destined Rivals. Can you wait till I give you the product before you want to buy more product? Like crazy. So I think this is the set that initiates the
beginning of the end?
beginning of the end.
George, hit it.
I think it's nowhere near it. I think it's just the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. It will only go up until the 30th and only go up from there.
I was trying to kick off an Ave Maria.
All right. Speaking of celebrating the dead, let's do Metazoo.
No, Metazoo is alive, pumping, and crushing it.
The best
I would like
part
to give a
about
big
Metazoo,
shout out to MetaGoat, having maybe the biggest tournament ever at Collecticon coming up. They have special trophies.
6 people. 6 people.
Are we talking about sorcery or Metazoo? I don't know which. And they're going to have special tournament cards for the first, second, and third place. They're going to have artists there. They're just crushing Collecticon.
it
The
sounds
game's
like a
doing great.
TCG. Sounds like
Welcome
something
back.
trying to be a TCG.
Will these be worth more than the gold content creator medals? Asking for a friend.
No.
Okay. Well, I have a gold content creator medal. So
You
I
created
have
it.
the
Is that your
Eris
most viewed video?
I have
Metazoo?
the Archcaster medal from the first set.
no, it's no longer my most viewed video. Thank God.
What's
That
number
was-
one now?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it at all.
How to play
Mine's a
Sorcery.
Lorcana video.
No, it's a sore topic.
He's not. Shorts don't count.
Both my shorts and my regular one are both sore
Oh,
subjects.
okay. Never mind then.
For short a sore subject. I'm curious about the short.
I'll text you later, Josh.
Let's stop talking about it. How about that? I can't edit the podcast. Let's move on from Metazoo because Metazoo brings up those memories. Let's
Not
go.
for me. Metazoo brings up great
Lorcana.
memories for me.
Donald, tell us all about these brand new Lorcana formats.
Yes, Donald, please do.
So I guess today they announced on their live stream that the format for Worlds, which you had to play Core Constructed to get to, but there's not going to be Core Constructed at Worlds, which is I find very interesting. They do like with Magic, you know, they usually do a sealed event, and then they do, or they do a draft. They do draft, and then they do like constructed. That's kind of what they're doing here, but it's like super sealed, which there's 16 packs, and which is really weird. And you can only build a 3-color ink deck, and it's like a whole new obscure format. So you have like no way of practicing for this, really. I guess you can now. You can get your team together and do it, but then the constructed is really strange. Like you build 3 decks. There are 6 ink colors. You build 3 decks, each of 2 different ink colors, and then you can play. You like whoever goes first chooses their deck, and then the second player chooses what color, and then you can choose to switch out your decks in round 2. And
So
it's
for
strange.
let me get this straight. For Worlds, you've been playing Lorcana for 2 years. You bought the first chapter, you got all hyped in, you practice, you play, you're amazing, you're super good. Now you've qualified for Worlds, and on the way to Worlds, they're changing everything.
Yeah, it's like they just created 2 brand new formats that it's like, surprise, this is what you're playing at Worlds. It's like
Are you a fan of this?
not at all.
This seems really dumb.
Yeah,
Not as dumb as like releasing a new set on the day that World starts. That would be the absolute
that would be terrible, wouldn't it?
dumbest thing that you could do, because like how
Who
are
would
people
do
going
this?
to get
No, like, is somebody doing that?
how are you going to get the cards for that set when
Yeah, that does seem like
they're not released yet? That seems
complete head up
insane.
your bum. No idea what you're doing.
That's Metazoo levels of dumb, if you ask me.
What was that now?
But like this seems like why punish people who have been practicing and playing something at the biggest stage?
Yeah, I don't know. It almost feels like a slap in the face to those players that, got there on those merits of playing those constructed decks, and then now it's like, well, you're just not really going to play those decks. I mean, they still kind of are, because they can play whatever their deck they want to play is in the triple deck constructed, but still, like, you have to play 3 different decks, and it's just weird. I mean, like, it's not going to affect these players at all, because, like, the players that are qualifying for Worlds are the top-notch of players that are going to practice these formats, and they're going to figure it out, and they're going to be it's not like it's just some random Joe off the street. But, like, I just find it really weird a month before Worlds. Like, here's 2 brand new formats, and
a month before
it's a month. Yeah, we are currently a month before Worlds, and they just announced these are the formats that they're playing at Worlds.
That seems fine. They have a month to figure it out. What am I missing?
I guess I didn't realize they had a whole month to figure out. I still think it's dumb. I'm not a big fan of sealed for any competitive event. Like,
right, draft is always better than sealed. Like, I am a fan of a limited.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of doing limited and constructed. Do both.
Has to be draft though. Limited is too spiky. It's like you get the bomb card.
Sealed.
Sealed is too spiky. You get the bomb card. You don't get the bomb card. Like, the lack of this being draft.
Yeah,
tells me that it's not that serious.
Right. I agree there. Like, and I guess maybe they're trying to combat that by giving you 16 packs, like, to get rid of the variants, but, like, from four different sets. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird to me. This is like the first kind of big miss over the last recent announcement. Like, everything has been a win recently, and to me, this is a miss.
Donald, I hate to disagree with you. It brings me physical pain to do so. I want you to know that, but I feel obligated to at this point.
The thing is, like, the number of people this affects is less than 5%. Like, no one is going to care or even know that this is happening, other than the people that are playing at Worlds and the people that, like, stay in the know about this stuff. But, like, the majority of Lorcana will never even know this even happened. So,
what's your disagreement, George?
People this will affect the most are people who are going to grind 10 games a day anyway, 20 games a day anyway. They're going to grind a new format for a month, and they'll be fine and we get to Worlds.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. They will be, those players will be fine. Yeah. It's just, it seems weird to just invent new formats though, and test your new formats at Worlds. Like, test them somewhere else first.
Won't the triple deck constructed really end up with everybody having the exact same 3 decks at the table?
Basically.
And then won't there be one of those decks? You don't think so, George? You have to. So you're limited. You have to build 3 decks, and all 6 colors have to be represented. And Donald, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Lorcana, is it a 2 ink color maximum per?
Right.
So you really are building 3 2-color decks. You have to. There's no other way to do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So then each player secretly chooses one of their opponent's decks to bench, and you won't get to play that deck if it's benched. So the way this is going to work is you're going to have 3 meta decks. One of them is going to be the best. That one's going to get benched every time.
But it's secretly, so you don't know.
So I think you decide randomly, don't you?
Right, it's random. Yeah.
But
no, it says each player secretly chooses one of their opponent's decks. So you get to look at the whole deck list. It says players review their opponent's decks before the match.
Oh, you're secret. Okay, yeah.
So it's secret from, if me and Donald
are
together, deck that I banned.
The one I choose is secret from Josh. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
And then you can switch your deck halfway through. After game 1, you can switch your deck if you want. I don't know, man. This seems like
it's strange.
It seems like they are trying to make the game something that it's not, so that they can say that it's something that it's not. That's what it seems like.
It's a bit of a reach, like, especially for your first Worlds. Just do your normal core constructed and
yes.
Like if you wanna try and reinvent the wheel 10 years down the road, go for it. But
And
like
I don't like the
they
take
crushed this. This is the right decision. They're going to have a whole new format. It's going to make it exciting. It's going to do amazing.
I don't like the
But I still love
idea
Donald.
that because this is competitive players and they're just going to play a bunch of games and adapt that it can't be criticized. Like, this is just an objectively bad decision.
yeah, the players are going to be fine. Whether they like it or not, they're still going to
It doesn't
adapt.
make it a good choice.
Should we try this at the shop, Donald? The triple deck constructed.
I'm not going to lie. The triple deck constructed does intrigue me.
I'm just curious to see how it goes. It
definitely intrigues me. I'm going to because I'm going to watch Worlds, and it's going to be.
Are you going to live stream it?
I don't know how to do that.
You should live stream you watching
Me
Worlds
watching
and reacting to it.
Yeah,
That's
You're gonna
great
have to-
content.
You're going to teach me how to do that.
I'll teach you how to Dougie.
super easy.
Okay.
You say I'll teach you how to Dougie?
I don't know. It came up in my head. I don't know what that means.
I'll teach you how to
I don't know what that means. Who is Doug?
I knew it was a song.
Don't you remember Doug? Do, do, do,
I love Doug the cartoon. That was a great cartoon.
do, do.
No, I'll teach you. You should definitely do that. I would watch you watching that. I would not watch that, but I would watch you reacting to it.
I would watch Louis if Louis live streamed you live streaming.
Live streaming. Can we do like Inception?
Yeah.
Can you then live stream Louis live streaming me
and then George could watch Josh watching me watch you, and everybody else would watch George's stream.
What
Accurate.
you got to find?
Also accurate.
You'd have to find it, yeah, on his hidden YouTube channel. Okay, what's the secret sauce?
Okay. So we all have been following this closely, I know. Taylor Swift.
No,
Who?
all right, we're over. It's done.
Taylor Swift mentioned
Let's
that she
talk
has
about
been
the
awfully
open
quiet
AI thing.
and
I heard a really interesting take that Taylor Swift really relates to, women, like middle-aged women and young girls. But other than that, she's not that musically talented. And I was like, oh,
That's true.
But
I mean, that's pretty obvious.
the
she is the
marketing.
American Music
And people
Award.
always talk about like it's a plant, it's a government plant.
Love
That's
that one.
that's
Love that conspiracy.
Taylor Swift, ultimate government plant.
Okay, wait. Can we talk about
like-
the Sam Altman and
It's amazing
Johnny
to
Ive
hear.
thing?
Music, do you know what I mean? But like,
She's the most talented.
anything to
she's the
write
most
home.
talented
She's not a very
musician
good
ever
musician.
walked the
she's
planet.
fine. You can't say she's not talented. Like, she's fine, right?
She's okay.
But realistically, it's just I get it now.
She's the most
Did you-
talented musician.
What's
on the
weird
history
is
of
that-
Can
the
we talk about them
music.
finding human remains outside of her mansion?
I think it's weird to find
Yes.
a middle-aged man
Yes.
cooped up in the.
They did that?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, like the problem is
So-
it's, like way outside her mansion.
Right,
Like,
but still, like they're like
Like,
specifically, the headline was outside of Taylor
that's
Swift's
right.
mansion.
What's the headline?
Like, so is Taylor Swift a serial killer?
Yes.
No, not that one.
It's her ex-boyfriend or something.
Yeah.
Dude, that'd be a great song.
Did she write a song about killing her ex-boyfriend and burying him outside her house?
She got writer's block one day, and so she had to kill him instead of writing a song about it.
Has anyone seen Travis lately?
Yeah, they had a picture of him yesterday.
Okay.
All right, can we talk about the Johnny Ive Sam Altman thing? That
Dude,
seems like actual
Can
thing we
you
can talk about.
imagine being Tim Apple and reading that headline?
I watched did you watch the video?
Yeah.
He was basically like, nobody's made anything good in the last 10 years. So
Yeah.
we need to make something good.
So I read.
What do you think it's going to be?
I read a really good take on this. Actually, like this is this kind of stuff I actually care about, unlike TCGs. So they said that the reason he left is because Apple's compensation plan just doesn't account for people worth billions of dollars. Like Johnny Ive had no business ever leaving Apple, but they would not pay him what he was worth because, like, he's priced. Like, what are these designs worth? It's worth billions.
Right.
He's arguably the most important designer of our lifetime. Maybe inarguably the most
So what
important
do you
designer
think he designs for OpenAI that's not a phone?
Oh, I think it's going to be something small. I think it's going to be much smaller than the phone. I think.
So how will you interface with it then?
I think it'll be spoken word.
Hmm.
I
I
think
don't
it's
see-
going to be Neuralink. I
The
will
glasses
say-
maybe. He did have glasses on in the video, but everybody was doing like they were posting the links to those glasses. So those glasses weren't it.
I will say I have started to use AI for things I never thought I'd use AI for. Like I was deciding between two cards this week. AI talked me through my decision.
So you're using it as a sounding board?
I'm saying, like, I'm looking at these two cards. What are the differences? Tell me about this difference. What do you think about this? How's, like, you're having a communication with this thing about, like, what is good, what is bad.
So can't a card company buy that then? That's what I don't trust. That behind the scenes, eventually, card companies are, instead of paying for advertising.
I love that no matter how something is, you're like, what about this crazy conspiracy theory that hasn't happened?
I'm saying, like, in the future.
Not that crazy.
That
To
can't be it.
think that a company pays another company a bunch of money to get preferential treatment. That one's not that crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I mean,
It's not crazy. It happens on Consumer Reports and all the other things already.
And AI is not exactly run by the most ethical of humans.
Speaking of Sam Altman.
You know,
what's wrong with Sam Altman? People are
no.
here.
The next move is glasses, augmented reality. The idea of interfacing
I'm
with
not
the
convinced
real
of
world
that.
around.
It's just a Black Mirror episode. Like
Nah,
That I'm convinced of.
I don't think glasses end up doing well.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to wear glasses.
Augmented reality glasses,
bro, wear glasses.
but done properly. They
I
can't
got
be heavy.
20/20 vision. I'm not putting those things on my face.
It has to be like this. It has to be convenient, help you out, and be able to be carried around and handled with no problems. If you can augment reality through glasses in that fashion where it's not this massive thing you're hanging and you have to talk super loud to it and make yourself stand out. If you can do that, you've got something.
Can I say the hot take here? We
Yeah.
will not for a very, very, very long time ever have anything that replaces the phone. And the key reason why is that we have been using a phone for decades. For decades, we communicated on. Everybody has been used to it. Everybody took a phone. You grew up with a phone. You talked on the phone. That phone became a cell phone.
Take from Louis.
Did anyone expect this to become an Alexander Graham Bell Glaze Fest?
What a classic horrific take.
All of our lives, we all used phones, and it's natural to then continue to have a phone. What are you're gonna get rid of that and then have a completely different device?
Yeah.
But your watch is connected to your phone, and it's really the watch. If it's not connected to your phone, it's just a smaller phone. It's just on your wrist.
Yes, the phone will change in that way. We won't be carrying these around anymore.
So then the glasses are your phone now?
Yes. Yeah, well, the glasses, the headphones, the watch, that'll be your phone. You won't pull anything out of your pocket anymore.
And then you're just then you're constantly talking. You can never ever be like typing on something or respond. You have to constantly be like, "Hey Siri, don't do it." You have to constantly be like, respond to Josh and tell him blah blah. And there's no privacy, and everybody's walking around the grocery store.
It's already that way.
I don't think that's true. I think there are already accessibility tools where people are looking at keyboards and typing letters. I don't think you.
That's wild. That's just more steps than needed.
And it was more steps than needed when we got rid of T9. But here we are.
T9 was GOAT. Don't you ever come at T9.
That's what I just said. Literally just said it. And we did it anyway.
Speaking of T1000, which is what all of you guys are doing, is enabling Skynet by using AI. Why does no one realize this? Why, like,
yeah, and we're just Skynet.
Why, like, Sarah Connor is disappointed.
Terminator is. He's hunky. We're all pro Skynet.
Not me. I am not pro Skynet, for the record. I don't use AI, and I refuse to.
Oh, but like, listen, Skynet's not going to focus on West Virginia, so I think you're fine.
That's a good point.
It's going to take over everything.
Not the mountains of West Virginia.
The robot uprising is not going to.
He's fine.
Seattle, probably Chicago, in danger.
It's going to start there, but it's.
I am super intrigued to see what this product is. I don't think it. I mean, glasses. I agree is the easiest.
I don't think it'll be glasses. I don't think it'll be phone.
I don't. But like, Like some sort of Neuralink
I think
thing?
is it going
I
to
don't
be
think so.
the remember somebody a scam company did the AI box that was
Yes,
supposed
I
to
think it'll
sit
be
in your
that.
That's such a terrible product.
Yeah. No, I don't. Talking out loud and having to have a headphone in all the time is not the play.
No,
We're
no,
not
Louis.
we're not far from the implant. I mean, just put it out there. We're not far.
I love it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Donald, I'm here for it and I support you.
Yeah.
So
You should
Elon's
go
already
spend
got the
time
implant,
in
right?
Miami and South Beach. The implant has been around for a while.
The Neuralink
I mean,
is
like
already a
mass.
thing.
Like on a mass level, we're not far from everyone being required, going to a cashless society, required to get the implant. Like
They're chipping our babies.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're eating the cats.
You got the COVID vaccine. It's already in you.
They're eating
Okay. On that note, we're
That's
done, everybody. That's the podcast. Mute Donald. Donald's muted. Nobody.
Donald, I refuse to disagree with you on this podcast, but you're making it hard.
Josh and George can hear Donald right now. I have muted him on the audio. No more of that. Everybody go subscribe to Scruffy Looking Gaming for all of your hot takes.
For all your COVID takes. That's a good one. That might be the best.
No, that went somewhere I did not think it was going.
That might be the best ending of any podcast we've ever done. Shout out Donald for the ratings.
I can't edit it. Go subscribe to TCG. Go subscribe to George's channel. Subscribe right here. Hit the like button. Follow along. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and may the zoo be with you.
And also with Donald.
And also with you.
Oh, I unmuted you, Donald. You can actually talk.